Hello, Victor here, RestoringMercedes.com. I finally received the hydraulic compensators, lifters, aka, and I just wanted to see what's going on here. This is under tension, so I can test it. But again, the engine hasn't been running for a day or so, so we have lifters basically bled out, right? And this is under tension. But in any event, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace them all, because even at this mileage, as you can see, the engine is pretty clean and I don't really have problems with it. I don't want to turn the motor. I'm just gonna do the caps one at a time and we should be all right. Obviously, I'm removing this oiler that drips oil onto the camshaft, and somebody's crazy enough to do leaves at this hour. It's about 8 p.m. so somebody's doing that. Well, hey, good for him. A valve cover gasket is obviously no-brainer. That takes very little time to replace. I'm gonna use the old one. It don't matter, just gonna clean up these areas slightly so they don't leak crazy. I don't want them to leak a lot. Well, you know, you just want to keep it clean anyway. Regardless, this video is going to be a little bit on the longer end, but this is a simple motor because I have this other V12, two V12s actually coming in soon. One from Texas, the other one locally, but it was purchased locally, and I have to fix it, and then the customer will fly in and drive it away. Okay, so I just wiped down some areas where the gasket would have been, and that's the valve cover right there. And we have what, 8 millimeters here. Yeah, so we'll take these out real quick, move along. So like I said, I'm doing one cap at a time, and I got all of them, all the lifters. You have to feed them with some oil so they don't get like hydrolock. I mean, let's move along. Okay, it's getting late, but all the lifters are replaced. These are the old lifters laying around here. We'll get to these after I drop this valve cover back on. Again, this is a very simple engine, and this is a very simple valve cover, and it's very, very easy to replace it should it need to be replaced. So yeah, therefore I'm just gonna drop the old one on, and if it leaks, then obviously I would replace it. But again, this is one of these motors that they can take anything. And then once I put this on, I want to start it first, and then I want to listen to those lifters, and we'll get to that in a minute. Let me put the cover back on, and then we'll start it up. All right, so valve cover is put back. I didn't torque it by spec. I just like hand tightened it. It doesn't matter because this is an old one. The cover, the gasket itself is probably going to be replaced regardless in valve cover. Maybe I'll paint it when I remove it next time. But anyway, so the filter just dropped on because the tree is pollinating in springtime, and so all these particles, they just fall from the tree. And yeah, that's this time of the year. And the hose is installed, and the breather is installed as well. So now, in terms of the lifters, did I fill them up with oil? Very little. Did I push the little check valve in and out on each and every one? Yes, I did. I put a few drops of oil and I moved it, but surprisingly, there was oil inside those lifters, or compensators rather. So it's probably going to get loud because there most likely are not fully they're not fully filled, obviously. But let's see what happens. I mean, you know, I hope everything is going to go well. All right, let's start it. Actually, these lifters, even not fully filled, no noise. Not even properly filled up lifters. Wow. Obviously I'll warm her up. I'm very surprised. We know about the exhaust, it doesn't matter. Just saying the lifters. Very nice. Yes, there was a little bit of the initial start was kind of not right. I don't know what's that about. Because I changed injectors, so there might be some sort of an internal fuel pressure leak. But it's just initial start. It's not really the end of the world. Very loud right now, but like I said, I wanted to listen to these lifters. There's some microscopic, I think it's like a pinhole somewhere, tiny little seal on the exhaust. I'll let the cold start finish. And the cold start finish its job because it hasn't been started. Oil pressure is obviously full. RPMs are above 1,000, like 1,000, 1,030, 1,020. But it's very much around there, and it's fully cold. That's absolutely cold, and I'm liking this a lot. Yeah. Well, while it's warming up, let me show you the old lifters, if I may. Again, this is late night, so bear with me here. And these are the old compensators. Now my problem with these, obviously the noise you heard from previous videos, but also there are a couple that are split open, and I don't know if this happened when I removed them. Most likely not, because you see this is totally messed up. Can I push it by hand still? Not so much, to be honest. Pretty tight. But I don't know. What's this deal? There's one. There was the other one like this. This one looks decent. There was another one that was split. Oh yeah, like I think it's this one. Yeah. See, this one looks pretty much the same as the other one. Looks like this washer that was supposed to be crimped onto it came loose somehow. I don't know. Yeah. And I think the rest seemed alright. So I don't know. I can't attest to if these are okay. I just bit a bullet and I just got them all 12. Let them be. You know, you do this once and you call it a day. So, as you can hear it, the engine is actually getting down to the normal operational idle speed, and there is absolutely no lifter noise. I kind of hear a little bit of the gasket noise from the exhaust manifolds. I think that's what I hear. But to check that, I'll probably need to smoke the whole system and pressurize it hard and see if there is any smoke come out the exhaust manifold gasket. And really not much. But this is day and night, guys. I mean, seriously, this is something else. I was not expecting this result. I thought they will be ticking for like forever. There will be misfiring and whatever. No. It's been a long time. I worked on one of these engines, and because, like I said, I mostly do V12s. Temperature is rising. Engine runs really good. Idle speed is still not low as it would be when it's fully warmed up, but my duty cycle changes. It's hovering around 50, so I'm good there. Temperature, it doesn't overheat. The only thing that I would do is I would replace a coolant temperature sensor for the auxiliary fan, the engine operation, not the AC operation. AC, the pressure switch works fine, but the engine operation, because once I was running it for a very, very long time, and I saw that the temperature was creeping up high and the fans didn't kick in. I put on the air conditioner, and sure enough, the temperature dropped, because AC works with the pressure on inside the air conditioning system, the high pressure. So pressure goes up, switch opens, fans kick in. Oh, there was a couple of ticks. I don't know what was that about. Oh yeah, there are washers on top of these lifters, and there are little tappets under that sits on top of the valve. Yeah, make sure that they are not lost. But the job itself is not difficult. So yeah, well, I don't know, maybe something set itself up, who knows. But yeah, it runs actually pretty much nicer. Before, I would have that ticking noise, and the exhaust would follow that tick. Right now, exhaust is linear. So it's like it hums equally, like each and every cylinder. You kind of can hear each and every cylinder firing. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the result. I'm gonna run for a little bit, let it warm up, because tomorrow is another day. There's this one right here I have to deal with. Beautiful car, actually, 1992, amazing condition. Anyway, so far so good. So I'm gonna just let it idle for you know, maybe 10-15 minutes. I want to get it to operational temperature. It's already getting hot anyway. Oh yeah, when I put the bolts back in, I blew out the holes from the oil, because when you tighten up the bolts, you don't want the oil to be inside those threads, because you're gonna just compress the oil in there, trap the oil in there. So I blew the oil out just to get the proper torque. The torque is 21 Newton meters, so obviously torque wrench is a must, because that's your camshaft we're talking about. Camshaft supports the upper ones, the camshaft bearings, the upper ones. And I mean, you know, camshaft bearing caps, you know, the upper camshaft bearing caps. So you obviously want to make sure that those are done right, otherwise you're gonna score the camshaft, and it's bad news. But so far, so good. All right, so Victor here again, restoringmercedes.com. Today is another day. It's a quick addition to the previous video. We'll start this car cold, just to double check on the hydraulic compensators, see if the lifters tick after the car set overnight. AC is off. In terms of the start, I have a theory that maybe my one-way valves on fuel pumps, they slightly bleed off. So if I'm gonna pump it a couple of times, let's see what happens next. Yeah. A little bit of a bleed on the fuel system. Not the end of the world. But again, my thing is ticking from lifters. It seemed fine, to be honest. I didn't hear any. There's some, like I said, there are some pinholes, I think. Pinholes in the exhaust, or maybe the exhaust manifold gaskets are worn out. Not a deal breaker, but just saying, this is a 1991. So seriously, give it a break. The car had so many miles, drove so much, but like I said, this was another start. I'm finally getting the hood star delivered today, and maybe I'll try to maybe polish this a little bit. Yeah, just to make it look a little fresher, I guess. Okay, so this is it. This car is the last job differential. Sound system maybe, because somebody put in the radio but they cut off the door speakers, so bass response is slightly lower than I wanted. It's not a best sound system in the world in this car, but nonetheless, you want decent sound. No, I'm extremely happy with the engine. The engine is, it seems to be very healthy, clean as you saw it internally. Yeah, and with new injectors it actually does run smoother, much smoother, because you sit inside the car. There is no twitching or anything. Very, very smooth. You can hear each and every cylinder firing, like just like smooth, you know, like you can, it's like there's no miss, no imperfection, no shake, no twitching, nothing. It's just like each and every cylinder fires. The exhaust also confirms that. You can hear each and every cylinder pop, 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 like very, very nicely. There's no difference between the actual combustion cycles. All right, so this is gonna be all. So it's cooling down already. I mean, not cooling down, the RPM's going down because it's warm outside today. So it registered 72 in the shade. All right, so, all right, that's it. So for now, I'm gonna be pretty much set with the engine, more or less, because it's totally satisfactory to me. Exhaust differential, exhaust, smoke test on the exhaust. Yes, I want to see that. Make sure that I can take all the pinholes, take care of those if there are any. Also, straight pipes, resonator emptied out. So the only thing left is the actual rear can. So other than that, it's just a straight run. So therefore, the noise is the way the noise is from the exhaust, the tone. And we'll move along. Victor here, restoreyourmercedes.com. Thank you for watching.